When was it discovered? In 1968 by pilots flying over North Bimini Island, who spotted the anomaly from above. Divers soon confirmed it, and expeditions led by figures like Dr. J. Manson Valentine have fueled debate ever since. Where is this watery puzzle? Just half a mile off the coast of North Bimini, in the Bermuda Triangle no less, adding a dash of supernatural allure. Why does it matter? Because if artificial, it could be remnants of a lost civilization, perhaps even the fabled Atlantis described by Plato, swallowed by the sea around 11,000 years ago during the end of the Ice Age. How was it built? That's the hook that reels you in. Each block weighs tons, positioned with precision that suggests human or superhuman intervention. No tool marks are visible, yet the layout mimics ancient roads or harbor walls. Skeptics point to natural erosion, but proponents cite sonar scans showing multiple layers and anomalous features, like propped-up stones that defy wave action. Imagine gliding through the water, schools of fish darting around these ghostly ruins. Who placed them there? Pre-Columbian peoples, advanced seafarers, or survivors of a cataclysm? The eerie silence underwater amplifies the questions. If this is man-made, how much more lies hidden in the 70% of Earth covered by oceans? Explorations continue, with new tech like submersibles revealing potential artifacts nearby, but answers remain elusive. As the current pulls you along, so does the mystery, urging you to keep watching for what might be the most celestial puzzle yet. Venturing back to land, we arrive in the lush, rolling hills of central Germany, where the Earth has yielded fragments that gaze at the stars. These are the bronze pieces, associated with the Nebra sky disk, but we're focusing on the lesser-known shards scattered around it. Tiny, etched relics that seem insignificant at first, but hold cosmic secrets. What do they reveal? Symbols of unknown constellations, precise lunar and solar alignments, and patterns that track celestial events with uncanny accuracy. When were they unearthed? In 1999, alongside the famous Nebra disk, during an illegal treasure hunt on the Mittelberg Hill, later excavated properly by archaeologists, dating to around 1600 BC in the Bronze Age. Where precisely? Near Nebra, in Saxony-Anhalt, a region dotted with ancient burial mounds and observatories. Why create such things? They suggest a society obsessed with the heavens, perhaps for agriculture, navigation, or ritual, predicting solstices, eclipses, or even comets. How did they achieve this? The etchings are microscopic, requiring tools and knowledge far beyond simple metallurgy. Some symbols don't match our modern sky maps, hinting at observations of transient events like supernovas or shifted constellations due to precession. Who were these stargazers? The Unitis culture, often portrayed as primitive farmers, yet these fragments paint them as astronomers rivaling the Babylonians. Each piece is a fragment of a larger puzzle, perhaps part of a dismantled calendar or map. As you connect the dots, the intrigue mounts. If they saw stars we've forgotten, what other cosmic truths have slipped away? This celestial whisper builds toward our final colossal enigma, one that towers over all. Finally, in the sun-baked heart of Lebanon, amid the ruins of Baalbek, stand the trilithons, gargantuan stone blocks that form the base of the Temple of Jupiter. What are they? 3 monolithic slabs, each over 20 meters long, 4 meters high, and weighing an estimated 800 to 1,000 tons, larger than anything at Stonehenge or the pyramids. Carved from local limestone, they're aligned with millimeter precision, stacked atop even larger foundations. When were they constructed? Around 27 BC under Roman rule, but legends and some evidence suggest the site predates them, possibly to Phoenician or even older eras, thousands of years prior. Where? In the Bekaa Valley, on a plateau that was once a hub of ancient worship. Why such scale? To honor gods, perhaps, or demonstrate power, but the effort defies logic. How were they moved? That's the mind-bending question. Quarried from a site half a mile away, across valleys and up hills without wheels, cranes, or engines, ancient accounts speak of thousands of workers, levers, and ramps, but modern simulations struggle to replicate it. Even today, the largest cranes would strain under the load. Who engineered this? Romans drawing on lost techniques, or remnants of a megalithic culture like those behind Göbekli Tepe. Theories range from acoustic levitation to extraterrestrial aid, but the stones remain silent sentinels. Stand before them, and you feel dwarfed, not just physically, but by the vast unknown of human capability. As we wrap this journey, these discoveries, the Ica Stone's forbidden knowledge, the dodecahedron's silent riddles, Bimini's underwater ghosts, Nebra's stellar fragments, and Baalbek's titanic feats, aren't isolated anomalies. They weave a tapestry suggesting humanity's story is far richer, older, and more mysterious than textbooks admit. Who were these ancient innovators? What cataclysms erased their legacies? When will we uncover the full truth? Where else might clues hide? Why have they survived? And how can we apply their secrets today? The curiosity doesn't end here. It compels you to question, explore, and perhaps even seek out these wonders yourself. History isn't set in stone. It's waiting to be rewritten. What will you discover next? History isn't a closed book. It's a living mystery full of questions waiting to be asked and truths waiting to be uncovered. These discoveries challenge everything we think we know about our past, reminding us that humanity's story might be far older and far stranger than we ever imagined. Were these clues left behind by forgotten civilizations, or are they signs of knowledge we've lost to time? The answers may still lie buried beneath our feet. What do you believe? Share your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and join us next time as we keep unraveling the secrets of our hidden past. Have you ever paused to wonder if everything we've been taught about human history is just a carefully curated illusion? What if the timeline of civilization isn't a straight line from primitive caves to modern skyscrapers, but a tangled web of forgotten eras, advanced knowledge, and secrets buried deep in the earth? So imagine stumbling upon artifacts that don't fit our neat historical narrative, objects that hint at technologies, maps, and understandings far beyond what ancient peoples should have possessed. These aren't just relics. They're enigmas that could rewrite the story of humanity itself. But why do they exist? How were they created? And who might have left them behind? Today we're diving into 5 of the most baffling discoveries that shatter our assumptions about the past. Stick around, because each one builds on the last, leading to a revelation that might just change how you see the world forever. Let's start high in the remote, mist-shrouded valleys of Peru, where jagged cliffs guard secrets etched into stone. These are the Ica Stones, thousands of them, scattered across rocky terrains like forgotten whispers from another time. What exactly are they? At their core, they're andesite rocks, a hard volcanic material, carved with intricate designs that depict scenes straight out of a science fiction novel. Picture this: dinosaurs roaming alongside humans, pterodactyls soaring through ancient skies, and bizarre hybrid creatures that defy biology. But it doesn't stop there. Some stones illustrate advanced surgical techniques, precise incisions, scalpels slicing through flesh, even what appear to be heart transplants and cesarean sections, all rendered with anatomical accuracy that rivals a modern medical textbook. Others map out celestial bodies, charting stars and constellations with a level of detail that astronomers today would envy. Now, when were these stones discovered? The story begins in the 1960s, when a local farmer named Basilio Ushuaia claimed to have found them in a cave near the Ica River. But the real intrigue kicked off when Dr. Javier Cabrera, a Peruvian physician, began collecting and studying them, amassing over 15,000 pieces. Where do they come from? The Nazca region, famous for its massive geoglyphs, visible only from the air, adds another layer of mystery. Why would ancient people carve such things? That's the question that hooks you in. Critics dismiss many as forgeries, pointing to the lack of archaeological context and suggesting modern tools were used. Yet, proponents argue the patina, the aged weathering on the stones, suggests they're genuine, possibly dating back 13,000 years or more, predating known civilizations. How could this be possible? Imagine a society without written records or telescopes, yet somehow documenting extinct creatures known only from fossils unearthed in the 19th century. Were they eyewitnesses to dinosaurs, perhaps through some cataclysmic event that blurred timelines? Or did they inherit forbidden knowledge from a lost precursor civilization, one that flourished and vanished before the Incas or even older cultures? Each stone raises more questions than answers, teasing possibilities of time travel, extraterrestrial influence, or simply a human ingenuity we've underestimated. As you ponder these carvings, you can't help but feel a pull to uncover more. Because if these are real, they suggest our ancestors weren't just hunters and gatherers. They were scientists, surgeons, and stargazers. But hold on, because this is just the beginning. What if similar puzzles lurk in the heart of ancient Europe? Shifting our gaze across the Atlantic, we find ourselves in the ruins of the Roman Empire, where forgotten fields and crumbling villas hide objects that seem plucked from a riddle book. These are the Roman dodecahedrons, small, hollow, bronze polyhedrons with 12 pentagonal faces, each pierced by a perfectly circular hole of varying sizes. Often no larger than a baseball, they're adorned with knobs at the vertices or subtle engravings that hint at deliberate design. What purpose did they serve? That's the eternal puzzle. No ancient text mentions them. No illustration depicts their use, leaving scholars to speculate wildly. When did they appear? Dating from the 2nd to 4th centuries AD, during the height of Roman power, they've been unearthed in over 100 sites across Europe. Where exactly? From the misty moors of Britain to the alpine valleys of Switzerland, and as far east as Hungary, but predominantly in the Germanic provinces like France, Germany, and the Netherlands. Why such a specific distribution? It raises eyebrows. Were they tied to a particular trade route, a secretive guild, or perhaps a religious sect operating on the fringes of the empire? How were they made? The craftsmanship is impeccable, cast in bronze using lost wax techniques, with uniform dimensions suggesting standardized production. Theories abound. Could they be surveying instruments for measuring distances, candle holders to cast intricate shadows, or astronomical devices aligning with the stars through those holes? Some even suggest they were glove-making tools or dice for games of chance, but none fit perfectly, and the uniformity across vast distances implies a shared knowledge or purpose that's been erased from history. Picture holding one in your palm. The cool metal, the balanced weight, the enigmatic holes staring back like eyes from the past. Who crafted them? Elite artisans, perhaps? Or members of a mystery cult guarding esoteric wisdom? As you turn it over in your mind, the curiosity builds. If the Romans, masters of engineering, left no clue, what deeper secret might they conceal? This enigma doesn't just challenge history. It invites you to question if we've lost technologies that could still revolutionize our world today. But wait, the ocean holds even greater mysteries. Now, plunge with me into the crystal-clear turquoise waters off the coast of the Bahamas, where a submerged enigma awaits. This is the Bimini Road, a sprawling formation of massive limestone blocks stretching over 800 meters in a J-shaped pattern beneath the waves. What is it exactly? To some, it's a natural geological feature, formed by beach rock fracturing over millennia. But dive deeper, literally, and you'll see straight edges, uniform thicknesses of about a meter, and what appear to be deliberate alignments, like a paved highway leading to nowhere.